A lot of stories today that are out. Carson Wentz is going to be moved here. Philadelphia is trading him. It's official. A lot of top NFL people. Adam Schefter has already reported that. That's going to happen very soon. We've already seen the Matt Stafford deal. Now, these deals aren't official until later in March, but they're agreed upon. So you're going to see something happen this week with Carson Wentz. You may see something with Deshaun Watson. And so I thought this morning we'd play a little bit of quarterback dominoes. I'm just going to roll the dice out, make a few predictions, and I'm going to try to guess where people land as of this morning and as of the reports I hear. So here we go. I'm going to say the Panthers acquired Deshaun Watson. Why? Because you can give Houston everything they'd want. A bridge quarterback, a draft pick, 3 first-round picks, and Christian McCaffrey star power. If you lose Deshaun, you need some star power. This is an organization that needs first-round picks. And remember, Matt Rule has power in the organization. He's a brand-new coach. David Tepper, the owner of that team, he's a roll-the-dice guy. He is a highly aggressive Steve Ballmer-like owner. They would make a move like this. They'd give up multiple picks, Christian McCaffrey. So I'll go with Panthers acquired Deshaun Watson. Second, I think the Texans then would acquire in the same deal Teddy Bridgewater. He is a perfect one-year bridge quarterback. You're also going to get the 8th pick. I'll talk about that in a second. But Bridgewater was 5-0 as a starter a couple years ago when he subbed. He's not a huge cap hit. He also has the ability to learn offenses very quickly. So there's been some chaos in Houston. He's a very non-chaotic personality. He's very Alex Smith. He walks in, he learns your playbook in 3 weeks, and he's respected by other professional athletes. This organization needs a steady hand. Bridgewater's the ultimate steady hand. The Jets, then, I think, draft Zach Wilson. I'm a Sam Darnold guy. I think he needs a reboot somewhere else. Get to that in a second. But Darnold is 11-22 in 3 seasons. He regressed. He's only 23 years old. I think he needs a reboot. But the reality is Joe Douglas did not draft Sam Darnold. GMs generally want their guys. Zach Wilson, according to NFL people I talk to, grades higher than Sam Darnold did out of USC. Jets get Zach Wilson. After that, I think the Colts acquire Sam Darnold. They liked him out of USC. This is becoming a run-first offense, 55-45. Darnold's still 23. They'll have a year to decide on his 5th-year option. He's a big, strong, athletic, mobile kid. They were limited with Phillip Rivers. They could not move the pocket. Frank Reich has worked with Carson Wentz. He likes athletes at quarterback. Darnold goes, reboots, and tries to prove his worth with the Colts. The Bears then acquire Carson Wentz. They're more desperate. Their GM and their head coach are on the hot seat. Wentz is a strong-arm quarterback. That ball will pierce through that wind. It certainly did in Philadelphia. Also, the Bears have declined to pick up the 5th-year option of Trubisky, so they're obviously moving on. They don't see Nick Foles as the future. And they're a little brother to Aaron Rodgers. You got to have a cannon back there. You're going to go up against Aaron Rodgers twice a year. You got to go for the big smoke. You got to go get Carson Wentz, who's a big talent. From there, I think the Patriots acquire Marcus Mariota. Not a big cap hit. Played in the AFC. He knows the conference. He's an experienced kid. And the reality is, I think after 1 year with Cam, it makes sense. An athletic quarterback who's a fairly accurate thrower. I believe the offensive line, this is going to be, I think you're going to see a better version of what they were last year on offense. The defense we know is getting better because guys opt back in. But I can see them going and getting Marcus Mariota. The Falcons then draft Justin Fields. He's from a high school right outside of Atlanta. They're not going to get rid of Matt Ryan for the next 2 years. But Matt's 35. He's past his prime. And Fields is sort of the opposite of Matt Ryan. He's a bigger arm, very athletic. There's still a lot of people in Atlanta that kind of miss Michael Vick running around, making stuff happen. Justin Fields from Atlanta, got a lot of sizzle, probably not ready to start in the NFL, so perfect. You get Matt Ryan for a year or two to run the ship. After that, I think the Texans draft Trey Lance. Again, He's got a little Deshaun Watson. He can throw the ball fine, but he's a playmaker. He can sit under Teddy Bridgewater, who we mentioned earlier, for 1 year. So you get your quarterback of the future. You get quarterback now Bridgewater. You get Christian McCaffrey, some of that RPO stuff, and you get 3 or 4 first-round picks. I think this is about as solid and strong a case to be made for Houston moving off Deshaun Watson. And number 9, I think the Saints re-sign Jameis Winston. I think he's got a higher floor than Taysom Hill. I think we saw the ceiling with Taysom Hill last year throwing the football. Never forget that Jameis led the NFL 2 years ago with 5,100 passing yards. He's not highly expensive, and they can't afford right now big money at quarterback. And with Jameis, you get him cheap. He can be productive. And also, we always acknowledge every quarterback's better in the second year of a system. Just because Jameis didn't play a lot doesn't mean he didn't learn a lot. So there's my rundown. Now, there's 2 quarterbacks I want to mention. Jimmy Garoppolo, I believe, stays in San Francisco. They retain him. We looked it up during the break. He's 24-8 as a starting quarterback in the league. 75% winners. Kyle Shanahan's in a division now with Matt Stafford, with Kyler Murray, with Russell Wilson. He's got to have a veteran quarterback who can win games and spin it. I think Garoppolo can, despite some misgivings about his health. I think they retain him, and I think the Cowboys retain Dak Prescott. They just won 4 of 11 games without him. He was off to a very productive, he wasn't winning, but a very productive start with Mike McCarthy before he got injured. And I think he works for Dallas right now. It's all about the number. Can they find it at 32 to 33, not 37 or 38? But these are my quarterback dominoes as of this morning. Again, I'm guessing it all starts with Deshaun to the Panthers, but it kind of works for me. And with that, Mark Schlereth, 2-time